Now it's time for my second perspective guest on the day on the programme today. And my guest today was put a real smile on my face. That's because Thomas Nicolon used to be part of the background team, if you like, here at France 24, doing all sorts of different jobs behind the scenes. Great to see him again for a start. But he then moved to be France 24's correspondent for quite a time in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And the main reason for my smile is because I've been flicking through this. Now, this is a book of his incredible photographs. He's now a photographer, always has been as well, I'm sure, and filmmaker, even an explorer, I think, really, for National Geographic. And the book, Kongo, taking us on a journey then through the world's second largest tropical rainforest across 6 countries, nearly 4 million square kilometres. That's larger than India and France combined. Great to have you with us on the programme today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks so much for coming in and talking to us. I mean, these incredible pictures taken in a region with 400 mammal species, 1,000 bird species, 700 fish species, 10,000 tropical species. Let's look at some of the pictures. The first one we're going to look at is just spectacular, a lovely image. I mean, tell us about it.
Well, this is iconic because all across the Congo Basin, you have clearings in the forest, sprinkled throughout the forest, and these clearings are called bais. And in these clearings, you have animals coming and going to socialize, to eat, to drink, and this is the biggest clearing of them all in the Central African Republic. It's called Zangabai, and at all times in this clearing, you have between 30 to 100 forest elephants, and you can spend a night on a platform or overlooking the clearing, and you hear the elephants vocalizing all night long as you're in your tent sleeping, and it's absolutely magical. And these elephants are critically endangered. It's not the savanna elephant, it's different. It's a different species, and it's one of the last few places where you can see a lot of forest elephants.
It's absolutely beautiful, isn't it, that shot? And there's another beautiful one that we're going to show now, which is a closer-up images of one particular elephant. Not a particularly happy-looking elephant, perhaps?
Yeah, one thing about forest elephants is they charge very easily because they have very bad eyesight. And in the forest with the thick vegetation, obviously they can't see a thing. And as soon as they smell something, they just go for it, they just charge because they're very defensive and skittish. And we stumbled upon this young male here, and he charged us for 20 minutes.
Wow.
And the biologists who were with me told me that they had never seen anything like it before. So when he finally gave up and let us go, we were all shaking and we went back to camp and we called it a day.
So hang on a minute, you're being charged by an elephant, you still have time to turn around and take a picture.
Well, so that was before he started charging, because we were crossing a stream, and as you can see, he's kind of paying attention to us, kind of analyzing the situation, and very quickly his attitude changed.
Okay, not just elephants, also gorillas. You've got a couple of pictures that we're going to show here now. Tell us about these.
Well, these are Grauer's gorillas, or Eastern Lowland gorillas, and they live in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, a region which is at war right now and which has been hit by waves of violence for the past 30 years. And it's a good example of how complex it is to protect wildlife. For example, in Eastern DRC, where you have the war, the violence, the armed groups, and you have these gorillas. And it's really difficult for the teams. And that's another species. It's a Western lowland gorilla in the Congo. And they're just so human in the way they move, in the way they look at you. And it's just a privilege to take photos of them.
I'm a privilege to take photos and a privilege to be there. I mean, just being and living in the country, what you were saying earlier on about waking up in your tent or hearing the noises while you're in a tent, you obviously absolutely love it.
I love it. I'm just so fortunate that I was able to build a career out of my childhood dreams. So every time I'm in the forest, I'm just like a little kid, and it's wonderful. And I tag along with people like Rose here, a Congolese biologist, and it's just I'm so fortunate to be able to spend time with these people and these animals and in these kinds of places.
How did it come about in the first place? Where did this love come from?
Well, I was always fascinated by the wild places and remote places. And when I started working as a correspondent in the DRC, I took advantage of living there by going to remote places and discovering the forest and spending time in the wild. And little by little, I started doing stories, conservation stories for National Geographic and others. And little by little, I just decided to dedicate my whole career to that.
And how difficult? I mean, some of these pictures, presumably, I mean, you must take thousands and thousands and thousands and select just a very few. I mean, how difficult is it to take these pictures? Presumably, it varies incredibly from picture to picture.
It is difficult to take, it's hard to take a good image. You know, photographers take thousands of images, but only a few of them actually are worth sharing with the world. And for example, when I photograph wildlife like gorillas or elephants, sometimes I have over 1,000 photos per day in the field, but if I'm lucky, 20 or 30 of them will be worth sharing with the world. And if you do a story, for example, for a magazine, it's about 12 to 15 photos. So sometimes I just did a 2-year project and I have like 60,000 images and 12 of them will end up in the magazine.
But I mean, hang on, I'm looking through this book here. I mean, it is full of photos. Nearly all of it is photos. I don't know how many you can see and how clearly you can see. But I mean, if you're taking that many photos, trying to get them down to this number must be incredibly difficult. No?
Yeah, culling through the images is the toughest part of the job. And I'm trying to get better at it, but it still takes me way too long to select the best images.
What do you think is the perfect shot then?
I think the perfect shot is an image that takes people to the location where it was taken. Like I'd like to think that these images give people an idea of what it is to walk through the forest and to spend time with people there. And I'm just trying to convey emotion and to try to portray this region that I love so much. And I hope that through the images, it shows a little bit.
Absolutely does. And 6 countries are involved in this book. I mean, presumably each country has its own personality, I suppose, and its own different style and different things which you can see to film.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's interesting. It's the same forest, but it's different everywhere. And it's also not only the animals and the way the forest looks, but also the people. You have people who have different lifestyles, and it's fascinating to be able to discover all the corners of that region, and there's still so much for me to see. But the best part of it all is spending time with the people and talking around the campfire at night with fishermen or hunters and talk about life, love, God, whatever. And it's just I'm so lucky that I get to spend time with people who have a different life than I do.
Yeah, that's certainly true. Congo, spelled with a K. Tell us about that.
Yes, it's...
That's the name of the book.
I wanted to pay tribute to the Kingdom of Congo, which is usually spelt with a K. It was a powerful African kingdom founded around the 14th century, and it extended across basically from Angola to Gabon. And it's just a reminder that this region, beyond the borders that we know, the borders that were drawn by European colonization, beyond that, it has a deep history and culture. And I just wanted to pay tribute to that, because I see when I'm in the field there every day, I have a reminder that the borders don't really exist. And sometimes I work in Congo, and across the river is Cameroon, and it's the same families, it's the same people. And it's just a tribute to the history of this beautiful region.
Beautifully put, and your enthusiasm shines through with you talking about it and in the book as well. Congo, spelt with a K. Thomas Nicolon, thanks very much for coming in and talking to us here on France.
Thanks for having me.